They say that time is a great healer. Apparently, nobody said that to Trunks. Hey guys, MasakoX here. We continue What If Week with a very intriguing proposition offered by Mr. Nice Guy over on Twitter. Thanks dude. He suggested the possibility of future Trunks being stuck in the past after the Cell games had been completed. Well sir, I do find this a particularly interesting scenario, but I think we can do better than that. We can up the ante a little more. What if Trunks got stuck in the past when he first came to the past? Supposing that Trunks' time machine was unable to return to the future the second it got to the past. Something would have happened to the time machine which would have meant Trunks would be stuck in present day, unable to return to the future and help out his future mother. Even the smarts of present day Bulma couldn't put the machine back together, at least not quickly. Remember, this is not the time where future Bulma packed a handy dandy how to build a time machine book in the glove compartment, so that means present day Bulma could then refer to it. That wasn't there at this time. Our Bulma would have had to reverse engineer everything in that contraption just to understand how it worked. So let's take a step back and start proceedings when Trunks first arrived on Earth. Trunks lands his time machine normally and proceeds to then turn Frieza into a very delicious filling for a galactic meat pie. Now remember, the time machine is an untested prototype. Future Bulma's lab in the future would have been just like a cave, so she just put this all together in a cave. Something that could bend the laws of time and space at the flick of a switch. All in the midst of a global cataclysm thanks to the artificial humans. That takes some doing, and I'm pretty sure that they had to cut some corners to get things done with limited supplies and tools. Something could have easily gone wrong, but thanks for plot convenience, it didn't. Not here though. As Trunks is delivering the news about the future to Goku, one Frieza soldier that Trunks neglected to kill with his slashy sword actually then finds Trunks' time machine. Assuming that this must be that hooligan's mode of transportation, the soldier uses the remainder of his strength to clamber up the time machine and get inside, and proceed to just wreck everything. Tampering with the propulsion system, pressing loads of buttons that he's not supposed to press. As this goon is doing this, a pre-existing malfunction rears its ugly head, and the Frieza soldier assumes that that's his own doing, but no, this has been lingering ever since Trunks came back. Before he can escape though, Trunks gets back to the time machine and spots that Frieza soldier nearby. He assumes that he's up to no good. He quickly dispatches the soldier with his sword, because that boy sure does love his swords. Thinking that the soldier hasn't done anything to the ship, Trunks takes off. It gingerly rises up into the sky before a blaring series of sirens and flashing lights all just echo throughout the domed chamber. Next, the rockets below short out, with one of them afterburning something fierce and just causing the craft to just pitch and roll all over the place, all resulting in a death spiral downwards. And then, just to make things worse, that afterburning rocket is now trying to melt the fuel tank, which is near the side. This heats the fuel tank to critical temperatures, and before Trunks even knows it, his craft's about to explode, or at least not be in a good shape. Trunks has no choice but to abandon ship and try and salvage what he can. It's too late though, at least to ensure its complete structural integrity. It crashes to the ground in a heap. Fortunately though, no big explosions have completely engulfed the craft, so it's still there, but it's severely damaged, almost beyond repair. Trunks is effectively stranded, but he's not alone though. Since everybody could have seen the craft rise up into the sky, everyone would have come to his aid because, craft going down in a ball of flame, that ain't good. But Trunks has to deal with another problem. He now has to try and explain who he is, what's he doing here, and what that craft does. All the while trying not to give the game away about the fact that Bulma and Vegeta are his parents. That would be bad for any kid Trunks is in this timeline. He frantically states that he's an employee of Capsule Corp and he came to Bulma's aid in the future, and that they together survived, they were the only two. Thankfully, he is able to blag this. Bulma offers to take a look at the time machine and try and fix it, but she doesn't exactly know how it works, but Bulma, she likes a challenge. Days pass, and Bulma still can't figure out what this machine is and what makes it tick. She asks Trunks for any information that he can give about this contraption, but really Trunks doesn't know about the specifics, he left that to his mother. He knows sort of how it goes and how it works on a basic level, but other than that, that's pretty much it. After a few more weeks, Bulma says that she can do something about this craft to make it flight-worthy, but it's gonna take some time. Possibly a year or two. Or 3. Wait, what? 3 years? Bulma then snaps at Trunks' protestation, saying that he should be grateful for even having Bulma around to help him fix it in the first place. Trunks then remembers what his mother can be like, and so the smartest thing to do, because he is a pretty smart cookie, is just to back off and let his mother do her thing. Either way, he's going to be stuck in the past for quite a while. Since time is always moving, Trunks can't go back to the exact same point that he left in the future. So time is still moving in the future, like it was in Dragon Ball Super, so whatever's happening now is happening in the future, so he can't just go from one place to another fixed point. Simply, it's constant. Future Bulma is left alone and could be left alone for a very long time. Understandably, Trunks is upset at this, but then he remembers why he came here. The fact that the artificial humans will be arriving in this timeline too. If he can't do anything about the artificial humans from his timeline, then he's going to do his damnedest to make sure that the artificial humans in this timeline don't do anything. He's going to put a stop to them. Over the next 3 years, Trunks tries to get close to his father, but that's just nigh on impossible. Bulma even admits that he's not likely to get away in edgeways with Vegeta. Even she can't most days. Trunks then chooses to go and spend some time with Goku and Gohan because he's quite curious to see what his master was like as a kid. Over time, he actually ends up training with Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo for the most part because, you know, they actually talk to him, unlike his father. However, he does get the occasional sparring match when the Prince of All Saiyans is actually really bored. Now here's where I think one interesting thing could happen. Trunks remembers the days when future Gohan taught him how to become a Super Saiyan. He feels that he owes it to his master to pay it forward, so he makes it his mission to teach Gohan in the past, or our present, to become a Super Saiyan. Goku is a little bit unsure about this and offers to lend a hand, but Trunks absolutely insists that he should be the one to do it. Trunks explains that Gohan was his master in the future, and that he feels indebted to Gohan in whatever timeline, so he should be the one to do it. Ultimately, Goku complies with this and then just offers to help him with basic training. Gohan masters the Super Saiyan transformation, so yay, he can do it slightly earlier. Around this time, Goku is beginning to show symptoms of the heart condition that he has during this saga. Trunks remembers this and goes over to Goku's house, insisting that he takes the heart medicine that he provided years ago. By now, Goku trusts Trunks completely and then complies. In fact, Goku mentions that he was feeling a little out of breath lately, so taking this medicine can't hurt. Thankfully, it isn't grape flavored. Goku's heart condition has been stopped thanks to Trunks' nagging. Yay! May the 12th. Everyone gathers outside the location where the artificial humans are supposed to show up. Fortunately, baby Trunks has been born. Bulma chose to name the baby Trunks because the two of them look so familiar, so she thought it would be funny. Shortly after baby Trunks' birth though, future Trunks thought it'd be the right time to spill the beans about the fact that he is her son from the future. Oh, she knew all along. A mother could always tell, she says, despite the fact that she'd only just become a mother. Well, hey, it's Bulma, she's pretty smart, so the best thing to do is just to go along with it. Suddenly, an explosion occurs, and that's the Z-Fighters' cue to go out and search for the artificial humans, because remember, they can't sense the cyborg's energy. Sadly though, despite the timeline being beneficial, Yamcha still gets a hole in the chest. Sorry buddy. The gang congregate around 19 and 20, and Trunks is quite confused. These guys don't look like the tyrants from his timeline. What's going on here? Trunks shouts at Jiro, demanding an explanation for this. Where are 17 and 18? He demands to know right now. Jiro is taken aback by this. How on earth would this punk kid know about 17 and 18? They haven't been brought out to the public yet. Jiro regains his composure and says that, oh yes, they're knocking about somewhere, and he tells the young boy to go and find them, just to keep him occupied. And like a fool, Trunks goes off and tries to find 17 and 18 despite the fact they're still in their pods. But I think at this point, Trunks is so fueled with red mist that he will do anything to stop 17 and 18, even if it's just a wild goose chase. And yeah, once the others actually leave the town with the cyborgs to go and find a wasteland to fight on, Trunks realizes that he'd been duped. Oops. Sheepishly, he decides to join the others a fair way behind, giving them a bit of a head start so he can not feel as awkward when he arrives. Without the worry of his heart condition, Goku easily wrecks 19. Jiro is aghast, however Goku is actually getting a little cocky. He lets his guard down for just a moment, but that gives 19 enough time to actually get a stranglehold on Goku. He is actually able to drain some of Goku's life energy, and this actually results in Goku almost losing consciousness. Trunks realizes that something's going on and blasts to the scene in Super Saiyan form and decides to actually kick 19 in the face, like his old man did in the original timeline. Jiro hails Trunks, going, "Oh, hello boy! Did you finish your wild goose chase after all? Are you satisfied now?" Trunks is in no mood for pleasantries. He whips around to face 19 again. He takes out his sword and jams it into the fat robot's body and then slicing way upwards. He's not messing about. He chucks 19 up into the air with his sword and then does a full power burning attack which completely vaporizes 19 right in the middle of the air. Jiro is horrified by this, and before his internal processing unit can process what just happened, Vegeta arrives on the scene, yet another Super Saiyan. He spots Trunks and then shouts at him for taking his deserved kill. Trunks wheels around to give Vegeta an absolutely venomous look. There's something about that stare which Vegeta recognizes. He's seen it before. But where though? Yeah, Vegeta's getting it, but this is not the time for a family reunion. Jiro realizes that the game is up and then complies. He gives a location for his lab where 17 and 18 are located. But before Trunks can actually finish off 20, Jiro slices his own hand off and then quickly scampers off. It's a race against time to get to Jiro's lab before Jiro does. Now remember, Goku can't resort to instant transmission because Jiro doesn't give off any energy, so he can't find him. Despite their best efforts, Jiro gets to the lab first, but only just. But before Jiro can actually come up with an effective plan, Trunks arrives on the scene and blasts the door down. Yeah, Trunks is wasting no time correcting his earlier misjudgment. Jiro is completely wasted thanks to a double Masenko from future Trunks and Gohan, both in their Super Saiyan forms. As for 17 and 18, they're still in their pods. Again, Trunks does the business, leaving no trace behind. Well, what about 16 then? He's still in his pod. Trunks doesn't trust this because this is another artificial human. Who knows what this could do? But Goku stops him. He remembers old Eta back in the day and assumes that not all artificial humans could be bad. Maybe if you could program one to be good, then it could be good. Trunks is still uncertain about this, but then he agrees so long as he can constantly supervise the examination, just in case 16 goes rogue. When they get back to Capsule Corp, Bulma looks at the pod and tries to interface with it with her own operating system. She finds the Kill Son Goku protocol and promptly deletes it, or at least tries to cover it over so that means 16 can't actually enact on it. 16 is activated and everyone waits with bated breath to see what would happen when he looks upon Son Goku. Fortunately, nothing happens. 16 is safe and alive and now a good guy, yay! But wait, what about Cell? Ah yes, we can't forget about him. He's still flitting about Ginger Town picking off victims one by one. Kami can sense this and he wastes no time to communicate with Piccolo, telling him about this threat. Now remember, Piccolo is still frustrated at his lack of power compared to the Super Saiyans, and now this is compounded even further with the arrival of future Trunks. He still goes ahead with the fusion with Kami to become Kamikolo so he can be competitive. The events of Piccolo's fight with Cell play out as per normal. Like in the anime, Cell blurts out his plan and then escapes when everyone else arrives. They then find out about Jiro's sublab, which contained Perfect Cell's embryonic state. They then blow that up too. They keep an eye on Cell's movements, and then one time, they then strike. When they actually get there, they proceed to finish him off relatively easy with Trunks delivering the final blow. At last, the cyborg threat is over. Shortly afterwards, Trunks' time machine is now fully repaired and ready to go. He takes his sweet time to leave because he's grown quite attached to this timeline, but ultimately, he does so. The gang wish him luck as the hero of time heads back to the future. So there we go. Had Trunks remained in the present timeline, he would have been of great use to the Z-Fighters in their preparations for the artificial humans. Goku would have remained at full health, Gohan would have become a Super Saiyan much earlier, and then Cell would have never become perfect. However, this might not necessarily be the last you hear of this scenario. I've actually made a poll asking you guys, how would you like this to continue? Trunks goes back to the future and finds that not only is his mother dead, but pretty much all of humanity is left extinct. I mean, that doesn't stop him from wasting future 17, 18 and Cell, but after that, there's really nothing left for him. So what does he do? Does he go back to the past and then just live out his life there? Or try and consolidate what he has here and try to protect everyone else from in the future? Again, this is your point to have your say. So what do you guys think? Did you like what happened with Trunks here? Do you feel that there's more to this notion? Leave a comment below, vote in the poll up top, and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later!